Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. We're going to be making this journal using Eileen Hull's new Folio journal die. If you didn't catch my last video, you might want to watch that first, because in that video I'm just giving an overview of Eileen's new release. She's got this fabulous journal Bigs die, but she's also got a couple of matching thinlit die sets that coordinate with it, and I run through all of that in my last video, so you might want to watch that one first. So let's jump straight in. Now the first thing for these journal type dies is I like to use the Sizzix mat board. It's really durable and it's also cut to size, so it's already cut to fit these. This is 855 GSM, so it's a really sturdy weight, which of course for a journal you kind of need that. This is something that you might want to carry around with you, and you don't want it from flimsy card basically. So I need 2 sheets of this, because for this particular die I need to cut 2 of the main journal, and then I will stick those together on the spines. So I need 2 sheets of the mat board, and I am going to add some double-sided adhesive to these. I find that double-sided adhesive sheet works best for this. If you don't have it though, use whatever you've got. If you're using a wet glue though, wait for it to dry before you assemble this. And I like to buy these big rolls of adhesive sheet. It's just more cost effective. I'm in the UK and I tend to just get them on eBay, but you can get them in various different sizes. So I've jumped ahead here and I've covered both of those with the double-sided adhesive tape. Then I've added some of the white texture roll to these before running them through. And I'm just adding red line tape to the spine of one of them, because for this particular die you cut it twice and then you just overlap it on the spine to attach both sides of the book. I would definitely recommend using something strong like the red line tape for this, because obviously this is what's holding your whole book together. Now I'm lining this up, which is really easy because I can see through the holes, so I know when I've got that straight. And then I can just fold in. There are score lines already done for you, so you just have to fold it in, and then I've got my journal ready to go. So I've jumped ahead a little just so this video isn't too long, but what I've done is I've got some more of the white texture roll and I've cut out a piece. I've used the die to do it, that is going to be the same size as the front cover of the book. And I've just given that a spritz with water. I'm just checking that that I've cut it properly. And I'm going to run this through. This is the Honeycomb Frenzy 3D embossing folder. Now I'm going to run this through twice, and that's going to give me a lovely honeycomb pattern to that panel. So this can go on the front of the journal. I'm going to use the red line tape again, because obviously I really want this to stay stuck down. I don't want it lifting at all, so I'm using a nice strong adhesive, and I'm going to cover the whole front with this. Don't be skimpy with your tape when you're doing this, because there's nothing worse than having a lovely journal and then having the front sort of peeling away. So don't be shy with the red line tape. That should hold it down nicely. So I'm just going to peel away all the backing. And then I'm going to repeat this process so that I've got the same for the back cover. You could do all the inside areas as well. You know, it kind of depends how much texture and pattern you want on your end journal, but you can repeat this same process if you want to have all of it covered with the honeycomb pattern. But for this one, I've decided I'm just going to do the front and the back covers. So I can line that up and stick that down, and that's beautiful. And then I will jump ahead and do the same for the back. And I've grabbed my bundled sage and speckled egg distress oxides. What I'm going to do is add a bit of colour to this. This is the beauty for me of this white texture roll, because it enables you to make your journal really durable, but it's like a canvas almost, so you can add whatever colour you want to it. Now I'm just going over with a kind of light wash of the 2 colours. And I'm not just doing the front and back panel, I'm going to do all of it, because I want the spine and those flaps to all tie in. So I want the same sort of colour scheme throughout. So I've just got water on my brush, and you can see I'm not being precise. If you want a stronger colour, you can always go back and add more layers if you feel it's a bit wishy-washy. You know, it kind of depends what colours you choose, really. I have gone for quite a subtle look for this journal, but obviously go with whatever colours you want to. And if you want to do something bright and vibrant, then, you know, go for it. So once I've given that a good coat all over, I can give it a quick dry with my heat tool. And then, as I say, if you want to add more colour, you can always go back in and add more layers. Now, before I move to the next step, I'm just going to give this a bit of a blast with my heat tool. I don't want it to be damp because we're going to be adding some gilding wax now. I should mention the wax I'm using. This is Pentart wax. I really like the gold colour of this. It's quite a sort of bronzy gold. And to start with, I'm just going to highlight some of the embossed areas. Not all of it. I'm not going to cover it with gold because I've got all those lovely colours in the background. So I just want little patches of gold here and there. And this really does highlight the design. And you can see the beauty of the 3D embossing folders once you start to add some metallics to these. Now, because I want to sort of continue that metallic all the way through, I am going to just rub some to the flaps and the spine, just to continue that through. And that just gives a really subtle look. This isn't a really sort of garish gold, it's quite subtle, so I think it looks really nice with the kind of pastel colours I've gone for, really. So that's my journal all done, but now we're going to decorate the front. So I'm going to bring in the one that I did earlier, and you can see the die set I've used here is the Geo Floral frame. You've got these, you've got 3 frames in this set. I'm going to use the 2 larger ones. I'm going to die cut those from some opulent gold cardstock. In a nice shiny gold, and then all the florals and the watercolours, all the florals and the leaves I'm going to cut from watercolour cards because I'm going to colour those myself. So you can see there I've got my 2 gold frames and I've picked 3 colours for the watercolouring. So the frames are going to go on the front like so. So we'll pop those on first. And I'm just going, these are very delicate, so they are a bit fiddly to put on. So I'm just going to put some really, really fine dots of, this is Gina K Connect glue I'm using here. This will dry matte and clear, so it doesn't matter if any does squish out from underneath. It's always a bit tricky when you've got such fine die cuts like this, but as long as you use a good glue, you're fine. And then for that one, I can just pop that at a bit of an angle over the top. Just make sure that's stuck down. And then I can put that to one side and concentrate on watercolouring all these florals. And I'm keeping the colouring really simple. I've just got 1 colour for each element. All of the leaves are going to be in Forest Moss. And this is the Distress Ink cubes I'm using here. And I'm just using water with them to dilute them and just literally give them a quick wash of colour. And because I'm doing this quite haphazardly, really, you will get some nice variation in colour because obviously as I add more ink and colour them, some of the areas are going to be darker than others naturally. So it's a really good way to get a nice watercolour look. Now for the flowers, I'm using Victorian Velvet. This is a lovely sort of dusky pink lilac-y colour. I really like this. And it's quite pale, so for the flowers I am actually going to put a couple of layers of colour on these. So I'm giving them all one wash straight away, sort of base coat, and then I will go back in. Also, when I go back in, I'm not going to just completely cover them again. What I will do is make sure that I'm a bit messy with it, as you can see here, because I want there to be a bit of variation on these. I don't want flat colour. There we go. So and you can add as many layers as you want, and obviously if you do prefer them to look more uniform, you can colour them more neatly than I am. And then the last element are just these little flower centres, and for these I'm using fossilised amber. Now this is quite a strong yellow, so I'm not going to be too heavy handed with these. I'm just putting a little bit of colour on them, quite a bit of water, so that I get a nice, it's kind of a nice dark yellow really. And before I pop those onto my journal, I'm just going to give the flowers a little bit of a shape. I've got my Sizzix paper sculpting kit here, and you can see I'm just quickly running over them with a ball tool on the mat just to give them a bit of dimension, and then I can layer them up ready to go on my journal front. I've got some different sizes here. There's 2 different flower sizes in this particular die set, so I've gone for 1 large flower and then I'm going to have 2 smaller ones either side. And then I've just got those little yellow centres to go in, like so. And then I can grab my journal back and we can work out the placement of the flowers. Now for the flowers I'm going to use a hot glue gun to attach them. 2 reasons for that. Firstly, I want them to stay put, and because they are a bit 3D, they're going to be quite easy to catch really, so I think it's going to be a bit stronger. But also by just putting a dot of that underneath, I've got room to tuck the leaves underneath them. And for the leaves I'll just use the same Gina K Connect PVA glue, and I can just slide these in underneath. It's a good idea to shorten some of these just so they don't all look the same. Obviously I've got more than one of each of the different designs, so where you feel you want to alter the look a bit, don't be afraid to just sort of tear or snip into these to get a bit of variety. And you've got a great selection in this die set. You can see here I've got various different types of leaves, and they curve in different ways so that you can put them around that frame nicely. So I'm just working out, see here I've just torn a bit off the bottom of that one to shorten it, because I just want a little bit popping out the corner there. And then I've got this nice one here that can have some berries on it. I didn't do it on this one, but I had on the previous journal. I'd added some white Nuvo drops to that berry sprig there to look like little berries, so that's a nice thing to do. And then we'll just pop one more under there, and then I've still got one left, but I think it's a bit big actually, and it'll overpower, so no, I'm going to leave that one off and leave it there. So that's my journal front. Now if you saw the other one I did earlier, I had a nice little sentiment on, so I'm just going to grab some of my Tim Holtz chipboard sentiments, and I think this one's going to fit quite nicely here. I think the font on it's just a nice size. It's similar to the one I had before, and I'm just adding some of that bundled sage around the edge just to tie it in. I don't want it to stand out too much off the front of that journal as being, I mean, these are quite a sort of off-white colour anyway, but it just ties it in a little to use some of the green. And then you can see there I've used my hot glue gun to attach that, because that way that is not going to budge. And there we go, there's my lovely vintage style folio journal. So now I'm ready to add my notebooks and decorate the inside a bit. I've brought back in my original journal that I made just to show you what I did, because we won't have time in this video to do all of it. So what I'll do is I'll show you my first journal and then I'll explain how I did it all. So for this journal I did cut out the first flap on the front cover, so it just opens up, and then I've added a little pocket. I've added a notebook. This particular die with those little slots you can put in as an old Tim Holtz one. And then I've made 2 notebooks using Eileen's other die set. So I've sort of got a mixture in this one really. So I'll just grab Eileen's new dies and show you what I've used to do what in this particular journal. The first set I'm going to show you, actually I haven't used at all in this one, but I wanted to quickly show it, and it's the Mandala. As you can see, it fits lovely on the front, so that's a beautiful die. But for my journal I have used the Folio Page Pocket and Flowers die set. Now this gives you dies to create that lovely pocket that I've put front and back of this one. You've got a different type of pocket that has got a sort of flaps you can tuck around, so that's great for creating pockets within a book. And then this is the key one really. This is the die that enables you to make your own books and your own pages. It cuts on all 4 sides, but you can see there are these little tabs, and if you fold over a piece of card in half and then line up those tabs with the fold line, it's not going to cut, because you can see there the cutting edge is overhanging. Sorry, I just knocked my camera there. And I'm just going to trim this so it's a bit easier to go through. But you can see that's not going to cut along that edge where I folded, and that's what's going to give me my fabulous pages. And of course, I love the versatility of this, because you can cut your pages from any type of card. If you want watercolour card, for my book I chose some nice green for sort of the covers of the books, and then I used some of the textural actually for the pages. So it gives you all the options. Also, I love the fact that you can replace the pages. You know, you go to all this effort making a journal, and then you can just swap out the pages as if you've used it as a notebook. Once you've filled it up, you can just put a new insert in. So I really love that design. So I hope that's given you a really nice idea to get you started with this lovely folio journal die. I've put all the details of everything I've used in the description box below on YouTube, so check that out. And please don't forget to subscribe to me if you don't already, and I will hopefully see you soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye.